Bolts Nation, welcome back to another episode of the Bolts Block Party. I am your host, Greg Wolf, joined by the always effervescent Braydon Coburn. He got himself a nice haircut. It's only been all season, but he's looking good. He's looking stout. And we're here, joined by another bearded friend of ours, Calvin de Haan, powered by our friends at Highlight IPA. Thank you so much for taking the time after practice. We know we interrupted your lunch, but we appreciate you taking the time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, boys.
So what's the locker room nickname? Is it, we were trying to figure it out. Is it Hans? Is it Honor? Is it Cal? Like what do they got?
Hunter seemed to stick.
Honor?
Yeah,
Honor?
It's pretty easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had you pegged it at Han Solo.
Yeah, we went with the Han Solo.
Yeah, I don't know why I've never got that before for whatever reason. Only on
I got to say, I was super impressed before we came on. You knew the name.
Highlight.
It took me like 2 weeks to figure that out.
But not only that, you knew the sport. Like you knew what Highlight was all about. And
surfing the web, see it around. See it once in a while.
It's a dangerous game.
That's what they say. Yeah,
you don't want
to
get
fast.
hit.
No, I wouldn't want to be in that cage, I guess, or whatever the court's called.
It's called a fronton, I think, is what the court is called, and the ball, I think, is called a pelota.
It kind of goes with all the research about you. You're like a multi-sport athlete. You know, you're kind of a man of many sports.
Yeah, is that what they say?
Yeah,
that's what we heard.
Okay, nice.
That's what the internet.
We did our research. Yeah. So Calvin, we want to kind of go back, take our fans, the Bolts Block Party audience, back to where it all began for you and your love for the sport of hockey, growing up in Carp, Ontario, which is just outside of Ottawa, with your brother Evan. And, I know you played soccer in the summer and your parents were super supportive. Like, just give us the backstory of how you kind of fell in love with hockey and maybe why you chose hockey over soccer and the whole story of how you got here.
Guys did your research.
We
That's
did,
nice.
man. Yeah, man.
It's good to see. Yeah, I don't know. It was always, growing up in Canada that was just kind of part of the culture almost. My mom and dad never forced me to play hockey growing up. It was always just kind of a love for the game. My brother and I would come home in the winter and we'd get home at 2:50 after school, and then we'd be at the outdoor rink by like 3:01.
Yeah.
Like we were, my dad, we didn't do a lot of homework, but my dad was always like, "Hey, 10 minutes, boys, we're going," and he'd drop us off, give me his flip phone. For those listeners who don't know what that is, that's the original cell phone.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Razor.
Yeah, man.
My dad wasn't that cool, but he had a flip phone. But and we'd be there till roughly from 3 till 5:30, pretty much every other day when we didn't have organized hockey going on. And we always knew our time was up when the lights came on, because then the outdoor league would come on and go home and eat dinner, and then we'd pretty much go to the basement and play road hockey for another hour or two. And it was just that's what we did. That was our thing. We grew up in a pretty conservative household, and that was our stuff. Our fun really was just playing sports, going outside, and we didn't have a lot of channels growing up. Mm-hmm. In our little rural community just outside of Ottawa. So, that was our fun. We'd play basketball all the time in the summer, and, a lot of soccer. And then it was always hockey season in the winter. And that was pretty much it, I guess. I don't know. We were just outside all the time.
Sure.
That's I'm sure you grew up like that to a certain
extent.
I
wanted to ask about Carp because I love small towns, and Carp's just under 2,000 people.
Yeah.
And I came from a very similar town, but what's so special about Carp? What makes that like a special place in your heart?
I don't know. It's just home, right? Like it's hard to beat it. It's not like we're that far removed from civilization, but we're 10-15 minutes from where the Sens play, and that's where we grew up. It was just a small little community outside of Ottawa, and it was just a tight-knit feel. That's where I met a lot of my good friends. Especially on the outdoor rink growing up. That's where a lot of our social life was really. We'd all meet up there at 3 o'clock after school, and we'd all play hockey together.
I think there's something special about like going to school with your buddies all day and then like battling them on the ice after school.
It was great, man. Those are memories I'll cherish forever, and it almost brings a tear to your eye thinking of those times growing up, and just how much fun it was. And you can't replicate that nowadays. I don't think. It's just changed so much. There's been times where I've gone home over the years, throughout Christmas, All-Star breaks, stuff like that. And I'd bring my skates home and go to the outdoor rink, and I'd be out there like, where is everyone?
Yeah. Right.
And I'd be out there with a few other kids, but it was, just changed. It used to be like 10 on 10 playing all the time. And, I think that was one way, my brother and I learned how to play the game and how to think out there a little bit was, you have to figure out how to get to the puck to your teammate when there's 9 other guys skating around. You throw your sticks in the middle, divide the teams up that way. There's never any biased. And that's kind of how it was. I'm sure you grew up in a similar situation.
Yeah. Our outdoor rink was, did you guys have boards?
Yeah, we did. Okay, and chain link actually is glass, which is nice. They Zambonied it. It was all time.
That's how they roll up
we're
there.
Pretty fortunate.
Yeah, we didn't have boards. We just, somebody at the beginning of the winter would put bales around the outdoor rink.
That worked.
And they were super tight for the first couple months, but by the end, you're losing pucks in the bales like nonstop. So you got to come with a big bucket of pucks.
So at what point did you realize that your skill level, your talent level was going to put you? Obviously you played in the OHL. I know you have a fondness also for the Kentville 73s in the Central Junior A Hockey League. You were named Rookie of the Year 07-08 season, but really, when did you know, like, what, I think I'm at that level to where I could actually do this for a career?
I think it's kind of when I got drafted, like my whole draft year and stuff. I had a pretty good season. That was probably my best junior hockey season, to be honest. But I had John Tavares on my team, Michael Delzato. So there was a lot of, hype around our team. And, John was, obviously him and Hetty were probably one or two that year getting drafted. And I think it helped having a lot of scouts in the stands watching John all the time. And, maybe some, I was always ranked, from like 20 to like 50. So there was pretty much every scout was there, every game, probably watching, obviously John, but, more, obviously.
Yeah.
And, I think I was just in a good situation, having all the eyes and the building.
Yeah.
But I think once I got drafted, then it was like, okay, I think this is real. So I think it was that year, that summer after, it's like, I think this can turn out to be a pretty good career for myself. And I've always tried to be humble and not full of myself and stuff like that. But, I've been fortunate in my career, obviously, and still want to keep going as long as I can. But I think it was that season where I was like, okay, this is probably
happen.
Yeah, this can be a career, whether it's one game or, 1,000, somewhere in the middle. So it was, that year, but then the work really started after that, right? It's, you're still a kid, really. You think you're on top of the world, and you get drafted, and it's like, oh, this is pretty cool, and then it's like, oh, shit, I probably got to start working out a little bit more. You know what I mean? To a certain extent, and it was different back then, the training and all that kind of stuff too. But it was. I was fortunate, obviously, and I know that. And
what does Calvin de Haan look like if Calvin de Haan isn't a professional hockey player?
Oh, that's a good question, man. I don't know. Everyone always says like gym teacher or something. I think that would have been a pretty fun career.
Sure.
But I don't know, man. Like I never really thought about it, to be honest. It's I don't know, honestly. Like nowadays, nowadays, I mean, I love the game, obviously. Nowadays, I just think about hockey and being a parent. I didn't have kids at the time. Maybe that would have been more of maybe a better answer at the time. But I don't know. Like I got a lot of passions. I like other sports, obviously, and I just like hanging out with my friends and stuff like that. I like cars. My dad always was working on cars at home.
Like old school cars?
Yeah, old cars and stuff.
Mustangs, Chevelle, like what was he rocking?
He's got a few cars at home. Old 69 Impala.
Nice.
He's got him and his friend rebuilt a 55 Oldsmobile just from the ground up. I saw it when they were scrubbing the engine with a toothbrush, like cleaning all the nuts and bolts and stuff. It was pretty cool, man.
That's awesome.
They rebuilt my old Corvette I have for me. So
what year?
It's a 73.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my pride and joy. I love that thing. Man. It's my toy. I wrapped it in a gray color this past summer or 2 summers ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've rebuilt it from the ground up, so it's a resto mod now. So
you bring it out on game nights?
No, I didn't. I if we weren't in an apartment, I would have maybe thought of bringing it down if we had a garage or something.
Sweet.
But I got a 1962 Pontiac Parisian, and it needs some work. So next time your dad is here, send it my way. I need someone to tinker around with it.
That's his pride and joy is doing that stuff, and his true passion, I think, is just tinkering on cars and stuff. So maybe a mechanic. I don't know.
Yeah,
Cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you've always been drawn to defense, it seems like. And there was a great quote I found from your dad. It was like him telling you, hey, Calvin, go score some goals. And you're like, Dad, I just kind of want to stay back here and help out the goalie.
Yeah.
So has that always been kind of your game? Or like, I know in junior, you were offensive defenseman, and in the pros, it seems like you've had a little bit more of a hybrid / defensive role. Just talk about defense.
Early in my career, I was, I played power play and stuff when I first got into the league, and it just, the Isles made some trades and I got moved off of it, and they decided to put me in a more defensive role, I guess, playing against, some, the top lines and stuff. Sure. at a young age. And it's always kind of, that was then I was here, now I'm here, and it's always been stuck in this position. Not stuck, but I've always
it's evolved, right?
Right. Yeah.
I think I can relate a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
I was always
the league
good.
As a young guy, you're playing a little bit of power play, you're playing in a little bit more of those offensive situations, but your game kind of evolves as teams evolve too,
sure.
Right.
You move around. I was playing a lot of penalty kill, blocking shots, all that kind of stuff back in the day, and I don't think that's changed, unfortunately, because it hurts and it sucks at times. But it's
you've evolved past blocking shots,
But I think it's a contagious part of the game when guys see your teammates sacrificing their body to help the team and stuff. I think it grows on teammates, and I think then guys start to do it in a sense. And but that's kind of how it happened. It was just kind of overnight, really, that it would I've always had good puck skills, I think, and good awareness out there and good smarts for the most part. Maybe don't go on Twitter and see what people say about me, but but it's that's just kind of how it happened. It was the Isles made some trades, and I just got slotted into a different position, and it's obviously helped pay the bills over the years, but it's something I enjoy doing, and I've always tried to take pride in that end of the ice. And I think primarily as a defenseman, your job should be to take care of from your blue line in at the end of the day.
Yep.
So just again, to kind of review how you got to the Lightning, you were selected 12th overall by the Islanders in the 2009 NHL entry draft. You were expected to be like a first or early second round selection, and they bumped up to move to get you at the 12th overall pick. How exciting for you was that, knowing that you're getting drafted? You didn't go to college, like your brother went to college, right? And played college hockey, or?
Well, he played in the OHL for 4 years and then played Canadian University.
Right. Yeah. So you didn't go that route. No. So how exciting for you was that to know on that day, like, wow, I made it. I didn't have to go the traditional route that through the college ranks.
Yeah. I remember the day. It was a whirlwind. I think my agent at the time kind of had like a backdoor deal, maybe I think it was with the Flyers.
Okay.
And then they traded for Chris Pronger.
Yep.
And so he was sitting in front of me, and they made a trade after like the 5th pick or something, and he turns around and he's like, ugh. And I'm like,
always nice when your agent tells you.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. He's like, he just looks around. He's like, and then I didn't really know what to expect. Again, like I could have gone anywhere, right? So it was just kind of a waiting game at that point. And then the Isles made a few trades, and things were, they made a trade, and then there was a couple picks that happened. They made another trade, and everyone's like, what the hell's going on here? Yeah. And then they called my name, and it was just like, after that, it was just from that time to, there's a whole bunch of crap you got to do in between. There's interviews, photos, all that kind of junk. And from that time my name was called till I got to see my family. It was just an absolute whirlwind. I don't remember that, honestly. It was just happened so fast. And then I remember seeing my parents, and it was just like the coolest moment, because they were obviously a big support system for myself, and I wouldn't be here without them, obviously. Sure. And so I don't know, man, it's just such a surreal experience, something you work for your whole life, and to be chosen, it was such a cool moment. But obviously I'm very fortunate to be in that position, and still in this position I am today, and I don't take it for granted.
So Islanders, and your buddy John Tavares was an Islander, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah. So it was a cool, yeah.
Was it the first call you got was JT?
Well, I got to see him like an hour later, so It was cool to see his family, and they were pretty pumped, obviously, too. Going first overall is a pretty pretty special feather in the cap, obviously.
Sure.
And, it was cool just to be a part of that whole experience.
And then you guys are going to do it together too, right?
Yeah. Obviously
like a
he
full
went,
circle
well,
moment.
it
He
took
went a
me,
year older. Yeah.
took me a little longer to get to the NHL. He was there obviously at 19, and but it was just cool to have we played together that year in Oshawa for half the season. He got traded at the deadline to London, but to develop a bit of a relationship with him and have some familiarity with him getting to the that's a hard word to say.
Word guy. You got the highlight.
Highlight.
Yeah.
But to have some someone going into a certain situation was nice, and someone you can maybe lean on for advice was great. So
pretty awesome. So Islanders for 5 years, right? Some injuries in the mix there. Went to Carolina, then traded to the Blackhawks. Carolina, then obviously to Tampa. 12 seasons though. How have injuries? I don't want to say the adversity that you've had to face over the years with the injuries. How difficult has that been for you?
Oh, it was tough. I had 5 shoulder surgeries between 18 and 28. So I had 3 in 3 seasons. So I missed over 100 games in 3 years. It was tough, man. Like, and those were prime years. Yeah. Per se.
For sure.
But
because did you miss the year after the draft? Like, was it what year?
Yeah. So I got drafted, and then I missed half the season. After World Juniors, I blew my shoulder out. Then I missed half the year. Missed a full year in the minors. I played 3 games one year, the lockout year.
So these are like serious injuries. Like
like
labrums.
Yeah. I'm sure you've had your shoulder.
It's not
worked
just
on
like
at
a
some
shoulder.
point.
Like I get bumped up. Like I can't play this week. It's like
you got to
it's unfortunate. It's a terrible. It's not really like my last 2. I had cut my shoulders cut open, and I got a cadaver bone in one holding it together. What? Yeah, I got like 8 screws in this one and like 5 in this one. So they were full reconstructions. My last 2.
Wow.
So how's your baseball career?
Terrible. Oh man, it's so embarrassing. Like I try and throw a ball and I'm sore for like a week. Like it's brutal. But those are really, really hard times, honestly. I don't know. It's hard to put into words. And, there was a time where, I was really contemplating, do I really want to do this again? Going on, shoulder surgery 4 and 5. I'm like, do I really want to do this?
Yep.
I could do it blindfolded, honestly, at the time. I've been through it so many times. And,
sure.
It was tough, man. But, my wife, my now wife, I can't say enough good things about her. She kept me focused, and, if not for her, I might have honestly retired.
Yeah.
Same with mom and dad and my brother. Like, that's my group, my support group. And, again, like, I don't think I'd be here without them. And going through those times was really, really hard. It was tough, man. Like, everyone gets hurt. It's pretty rare that a professional athlete doesn't get hurt at some point with, some sort of major injury. But it was bad. It was tough. It's hard to talk about, man. Like, it was really, really hard.
Yeah. Was there something? What happened? What was the? Was
just
first one
dislocations.
But was it like a hit? Was it like going to the boards? Like
I got a long theory as to why my shoulders were a little banged up, but I don't know if we have how much time we got. If I want to get into it, but it was obviously some bad luck.
Yeah.
I think it's not for lack of training or lack of
It's
whatever.
hockey.
So,
it's hockey. It's like hockey.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me like, what's a hockey game like? I said, really a season's 82 car crashes, right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
You
That's
just try to
great.
make it through 82 car crashes, and you can.
Yeah, and
you make
unfortunately,
it
we don't have airbags.
Yeah,
So.
no, there are no bears. You got a little thin piece of Bauer plastic sitting on your shoulder cap.
Yeah, that's about it. And that's your seatbelt and airbag, really.
So amazing. It's absolutely amazing that you're sitting here with us today, man. Being one of the newer guys in the locker room, what was it about this Lightning team that got your blood pumping when you found out you'd be a Bolt? Because didn't you play for Cooper at the Worlds as well? Like,
yeah.
So what when you found out you were coming to the Bolts, like what was it about this team that got you fired up?
Winning pedigree, obviously.
Yeah.
Stanley Cup aspirations to this day still. We believe we can win. I wanted to play meaningful hockey. I just didn't want to sign somewhere to sign somewhere. I wanted to, be a part of a winning culture and, hopefully get it to that next step. And there's a lot of conversations around the league about good organizations and bad ones. And, there's been nothing but good things said about this organization, regardless of the winning, just the way that the families are treated. The stuff behind the scenes that, a lot of fans won't see.
Yep.
they do an amazing job with the families and friends for home games, things like that. Just, you know, makes everything more enjoyable for, you know, our better halves. You know, you played here, you know what it's like. They do an amazing job with that kind of stuff. You know, the community hero thing. Like, I don't think there's a lot of teams that are giving away the big checks with 50 grand on it every game. Yeah. That's pretty special. Just shows, you know, how, you know, Mr. Vinnick and the organization gives back to the community. And, you know, it's just great to be a part of an organization that cares, really, at the end of the day. So
you've played against a lot of these guys over the years. Is there somebody that you go into a locker room and you never really know guys that you played against them, but when you're in the inside, is there somebody in the dressing room you were like, man, that guy's way different than I thought he was, just playing against, for battling against him?
Yes and no. I think when you know, I signed here, you play against these guys, you're like, oh, they're pretty good. You know, they've done some damage over the past 10 years, and then you see them in practice and you're like, okay, these guys are really good. You know, but you know, there's not a bad apple in that locker room. You know, I played with Pointer at the World Championships. He was really quiet. He was young at the time. I think he was 20 or 21, and he was really quiet. But he's changed a lot, I think, over the years. He's become more of a social butterfly in certain situations, and you know, he's just a good just a good Canadian guy. Dude, yeah, just a good dude. But I guess that's an example of But you know, there's like I said, there's not a bad apple in this locker room, and it's a good team to be a part of.
It's always funny when you go in, you're playing against him, you're like, man, that guy's such a, and then, you know, like you're playing against him and then you become teammates with him. You're like,
really not.
I love this guy. I love this guy.
Yeah. There's been some over the years, but I can't remember any on this team, to be honest. Maybe some of the are gone, but
retired.
Retired.
Well, you're rocking a Ridge Rock Brewing Company hat, which you are the co-founder and co-owner of that up in the hometown. Talk to us about that. Like, how did you get involved in that, and where do you even find the time to like manage a brewery / restaurant? Like, how's that work?
Yeah, regarding the managing side, we have a great manager that does all that stuff for us, so I don't really have to do the day-to-day stuff. But
good.
I try and be as involved as I can with the, you know, day-to-day decisions, and obviously it's tough when, you know, we're 24 hours by car from home, so it's hard to be involved. But
I would love to see you like give me a call, like, hey Calvin, we really need you to fire this guy right now, you know.
Oh, that would be tough. Yeah. No, we let my other partners handle some of that stuff. But there was my good friend Jake and I, and mutual friend Jay, we're sitting around one day having pints, chatting like we are right now, and we're like, oh, let's try it. And then we brought in another guy, so there's 4 of us. Myself, Jake, Jay, and Ryan, that started it, and we had no experience. None. We all grew up in the area. I grew up a kilometer away from Ridge Rock. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, honestly. It's like we went and found a brewmaster. We found a location. Got it. Yeah, and pretty much the rest is history. We had to do a lot of work inside and outside the building to make it into what it is now. But it's been fun, honestly. Like, it's nice thinking about something other than hockey all the time, to be honest, and, you know, taking some time here and there to, you know, get on a call, talk, you know, this, that, and the other thing. And I don't know, I encourage it.
Is there a beer named after you there?
No, we've been staying away from that stuff a little bit. I'm trying to.
It's your brewery, man.
Yeah, we're working on it, but it's fine.
Like the Haan brew. Like,
we've
it
talked.
needs to be some kind of code, you know, like a little bit of code, like.
Yeah, I don't want to, you know, seem like I'm a booze bag or something. But it's, you know, I don't.
Trippy,
I've had a few fun nights in there, but you know, I don't go in there as much as people think and pound pints. But you know, I try and go in and say hi to the staff and the people that, you know, make our business successful. You know, I owe a lot to our manager, brewmaster, you know, our chef as well, and my dad actually works there too, and he's probably our Swiss Army knife and our heartbeat of the building. So he does everything there, and you know, those
utility guy, man.
Oh yeah, it's like a cool building too, from what I understand. The building's like over 100 years old.
Yeah, it was built in like 1870 or something. Wow. Something crazy. I don't know the exact date, but the actual foundation's been there for a long time. So it's you know, we were fortunate enough to get our hands on that, and it's right in, we call it Confusion Corner. Carp's got a five-way intersection. Yeah, it's when you know Canadians, we can sit there for hours and like, okay, you can go, then you can go, you know, and it's like, no, you go, man.
No, but that's just after everyone waves to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Little finger wave.
But it's a you know, we call it right at the corner of at Confusion Corner. So we're right in the heart of the village. So pretty fortunate to have a great location, and the community has been awesome. Obviously, during COVID and stuff in Canada, it was a little dicey at the, with the inconsistencies of the lockdowns, and we didn't know what was going to happen, on a day-to-day basis. We could be open for a week, closed for a week, open for a month, yada, yada, yada. And, but the support of the community was great. We were able to have takeout and takeout food and beer. So the community was awesome, and people really supported local, and, the community carp really helped us get through those tough times.
You guys do live music and stuff there too?
Yep. On weekends. On Fridays and Saturdays, live music. Got a whole bunch of events. We do Valentine's dinners. We started a founders club when we first opened, which was essentially just like a season ticket holder thing. You buy in for a certain price, and you get if you get an extra, I think it's 3 ounces on your beer, you get a bigger mug. We do founders nights, things like that, and there's a little bit of perks for them, and it's just to help people feel a part of something. And those people love going into Ridge Rock, and they keep our lights on. And
very cool.
Kudos to you guys. Thank you so much for the support. So
awesome. What about team parties now? Do the boys bug you like, hey, we need a brewer, we need a keg, we need a keg?
Well, I can't bring it across the border, unfortunately. Maybe one day.
We got to work on importing this.
I know.
I don't know.
Maybe one day.
Maybe there's some importers out there.
Yeah. Is anyone listening? Yeah. So. I've brought some beer on the team plane back before and stuff. So,
who's gonna stop you?
Always bring some down for the staff at the start of the year. Those guys love it. They, all the training staff went there this year. They had a great time.
That's awesome.
Some stories I probably can't share on air, but they had a great time. So it was, I appreciate the support that, I've, some previous teams, some of their staff still go there whenever they're staying in Ottawa, and I appreciate the support that they've given me and stuff. So it's fun, man. It's been really cool.
Very cool.
What about expansion? Maybe we could put one down here on Water Street.
Maybe I don't know. It would be nice to get maybe another contract before that happens, but
fair enough.
We'll talk to JB.
Yeah,
you're a big golf guy too. I saw you've been out on the links with some of the boys. You've seen some of our guys in action. Who do you feel on the squad is the best on the course?
We got a good golf team here.
Yeah, we do.
Oh yeah,
take
really
yourself out of it, but like, who do you feel on the team is?
I'd say we'd probably have top 5, top 10 in the league for sure. Golf.
Really?
Yeah.
You've seen enough. So.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of low handicappers here.
Stammer, Petty.
I played with Rads a bunch. He's really good.
Yeah, he's a long driver.
Yeah, he pounds it. Purby's good. Austin Watson's good too.
Okay.
Who else? Stammer, Petty are pretty decent. Hayden's good. Fleury's good.
Yeah.
Why do
we
you
got
think,
a lot of.
And again, all of you guys can probably answer this, but why do you think hockey players and golf are? I just feel like they're very synonymous. I feel like guys that are good at hockey are good at golf. Is it the hand-eye coordination? Like,
I've played with some guys who aren't good at golf too, though. I'm not going to name any names, but
that's the worst on the team. Let's go there.
I won't spill any beans. I don't want to get in trouble.
Very cool.
But it's
I
think it's just a good summer hobby.
Got it.
Can we just say Sorelli? Can we just say Sorelli?
Not great.
I haven't played with him, but I've heard some things. So maybe he's one of them. Maybe he's one of them.
When in doubt, throw Sorelli under the bus. That's what I've always learned.
But
he's a jokester, so.
Yeah, but we got a lot of good guys on this team. A lot of good guys between, I'd probably say even, like, I think Ratty's a scratch or a plus, give or take. Between that and 5 handicaps, there's a lot of guys who can pretty muck it around.
Yeah.
So.
Did you hear about the Bolts Block Party bump from Ratty or any of the guys? Like when you come on this show, what happens? Okay, so just so you're aware, I think the last 8 guys that have been on the show, once they've come on the show, have gone on to either score a goal or get points. So I don't know when this episode's going to air, but we obviously have a game tomorrow night, so we're going to be paying attention to see.
Points are nice.
I mean,
points are
because
nice.
I think Sherry was the only one that didn't score a goal, but the first game back from his injury, he got 2 assists.
There you go.
So there's still points, right?
Yeah,
so
they count.
We're 8-0 right now, so we're counting on you tomorrow night
to
get on the at some point. No pressure.
I haven't been on the ice for a lot of offensive face-offs recently, so maybe I'll just have to.
I like the high flip the other night, though. High flip for
it works. Yeah,
okay,
it works.
It counts.
Yeah. All right. So
I wanted to talk about because all the pictures I saw of you, and I didn't really realize this, but number 44.
Oh yeah.
What's significant about 44? Why 44?
It's funny. It might have been the year I was injured in Bridgeport when I was in the minors. I think it was that season. Steve Steos, I was originally 24 in training camp.
Okay.
Steve Steos signed with the Isles late during training camp. He took 24. So I got moved to number 3. And then Travis Hamonic changed his number from whatever number he was at the time to number 3. And then they gave me number 44. So that's
They just
it.
gave it to you. There's no
That's it.
meaning for it. It's
No
just-
meaning, nothing. Yeah.
Just a
You've been able to
sign.
keep it like the whole
I know.
time?
Well, that's the fortunate part because, sometimes you get traded or
Right.
moved around and, maybe someone has that number already, but I've been fortunate to keep it, but there's no significance behind it. Sorry, that's the story. I'm sorry.
I was gonna
It doesn't coincide with the big 44 tattoo somewhere.
No, there's no tramp stamp back there with a 44, but
maybe that
it
is
was-
maybe that's when you decide to make a beer that's based on you. Maybe that's the name of the beer. Maybe
Yeah.
his is just 44.
But
It's
we-
like Ridge Rock
that,
44.
I'm sorry, there's no cool story or anything, but that was it.
I think
Honestly,
that is a cool story.
I mean,
to be
it-
I
honest.
didn't even
right?
play a game that year, and my number changed 3 times. So I was, I was probably sitting in my gaming chair at the time in a sling, and my number changed. So it was like,
Well,
wow.
just be thankful it wasn't like, I don't know,
Oh, it could've been-
63 or
Yeah,
something.
right.
Not,
No, I know.
no offense to anyone that loves 63, but
no, that's not a great hockey
there's,
number.
there's some bad ones out there.
All right, Calvin, before we let you get out of here, we always do a segment called Fact or Fiction presented by our friends at Highlight IPA. So basically, these are simply true or not true statements.
Okay.
Pay attention to the statements because sometimes they're skewed.
Like
a
in
little
my mind,
bit.
or
No, these are like
actual
just-
facts.
Yes, actual
Oh,
facts.
boy.
Not in your mind, but like
Okay.
things that
What I believe or what's actually
No, no,
true.
this
Okay.
is like
We
true-
run a Maple Leaf podcast here.
All right, here we go. Fact or fiction? After winning silver in 2009, you returned to the World Juniors for Team Canada along with Braydon Shen in 2010, only to win bronze that year.
Fiction.
What was it?
Silver. Lost to
Double
the,
silver.
lost to the Russians, unfortunately.
I know.
Yeah, it was a tough one.
Yeah, it was.
We got shafted. I think we could have won both years. It was tough.
Yeah.
It was brutal. But
So that is fiction. It was actually 2 silvers.
All
not
right.
bronze.
All right.
You're up.
Okay.
Oh, is that-
No, you were
Oh,
right.
okay.
You were right. That's why I
Sorry.
wanted to see
Yeah,
if
2
you like
silvers,
remember.
silvers.
Hunter,
Sask-
a 1
Saskatoon
point,
Buffalo.
Hunter. 0 points us. Okay.
Yeah.
We're keeping track. You played with a former coach that was also a teammate of yours.
Jeremy Colleton.
Yeah. Talk to us about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it was weird. I remember when he got hired, it was, hey man, what's up? I don't know. He was my captain. He was my captain in my first season in Bridgeport, and he was a great captain, great leader. I had a lot of fun that year. Playing in the minors is a little different than the NHL. It was, it's always a younger team per se.
Yeah.
But he always did a great job at getting the guys together and making everyone feel welcome. And, obviously his time in Chicago was probably a little short for what he wanted, but I think he's in Abbotsford right now head coaching. So he's still got his foot in the water and, he's obviously enjoying it still. And it was just, it was weird. Nothing really changed. It was just, hey man, what's going on? I don't know. It was cool though. It was, he was always good to me. I have no bad things to say about him, as a leader or as a coach. I enjoyed playing for him.
He's a great
Sure.
guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Super nice. Did you play World Juniors with him?
I kind of grew up with him.
Okay.
I remember being in Blackie, Alberta, jumping on a trampoline
Yeah.
with him.
Right.
We like going to Blackie Sports Day.
I swear, you don't understand. Like we've done 38 episodes, maybe 39. This is episode maybe 39, and I can't recall any time that Kobe, with anybody we've had on the show, doesn't know somebody that knows somebody that was up.
I didn't jump on a trampoline with him. Yeah. No,
I mean, I'm
it
just
was
saying,
a trampoline guy.
Yeah.
it's just crazy.
We
how
had
he
one
knows-
growing up too.
He
Yeah.
knows somebody that it's crazy.
The
the
hockey
60
community
it's
is
unbelievable.
very, very small.
It's crazy.
Well, there's only, in the 100 years of history of the NHL, there's only been like 7,000 guys to play one game.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but
So
this is a tight knit community.
100%.
well, that's what I mean.
It blows my mind.
7,000. That's only, CART multiplied by 3.
Right.
Pretty much. Right.
Unreal. All right. Fact or fiction? In July of 2021, your wedding week was one of the most stressful times of your life, but not because of the wedding.
Oh, is that a quote for me?
Fact or fiction?
Stressful.
Just remember back to that week, wedding week.
I don't think it was that bad. Is that when I got traded?
That's
I got married after.
right out, but still, like,
No,
was it- am I in the
a
wrong?
year later. Yeah, you're wrong.
So it's fiction,
Fiction. Yes.
but it's kind of fact.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
fact and
No,
a
that was
fiction.
3-0 Hunter. That's we're really
we
going
got
down.
engaged.
Yes.
Like 2 days before I got traded. That's a whole long. I don't want to talk about that trade.
No.
So
No.
yeah, but it was
It's a fact and a fiction.
yeah, that was it's both
Crazy
for
time.
sure. Yeah,
I
it
read
was
about that.
it was yeah, it was crazy.
Crazy time.
Well, I've never been traded before. and
Right.
I didn't expect it. So yeah,
Saw that. I read that.
All right. Fact or fiction? You've worn the same helmet, the Bauer 4000 helmet, your entire career.
that is fact.
if you couldn't have that helmet, would you retire?
They don't make them anymore.
I know they don't make them.
It's crazy. If I
It's
think I
you
needed.
and Stammer.
There's only a select few guys that wear them. I think Waddy did Waddy have one still? He might have one.
Okay.
There's only a select few guys. I don't think they're the most protective helmet out there, to be honest.
Why do you
But
prefer
they're
this helmet?
I've just always worn it. I don't
Okay.
know. It fits my odd shaped head, I guess. I don't know.
I love it because it's like
It's old school.
It's old school. It's like, you remember when Gretzky, he wore like the Jofa forever,
Yeah.
you know, and he just kind of kept it going. So, you're kind of like Gretzky. You got the same helmet.
Oh,
the whole
I
career.
appreciate that. Thanks, man.
I
Yeah.
like it.
But I don't know. I think they look cool. I don't know why. I think they just look.
They are the coolest looking helmet. I still think that. I don't
Yeah.
know why they discontinued it. Maybe because they were not safe. But
Yeah, it's
Maybe.
it's honestly plastic with the foam.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they're way more fancy than these ones. But
Okay. Fact or fiction, if given the opportunity, you would be a professional video game player.
oh, probably fact.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that would have been his other career. If he
Maybe
didn't go into-
nowadays. I'm not good. I like playing though. It's like my in-season thing is just to go home and scream at the
Yeah.
TV for a bit, and then I'm good. You know,
Okay.
it's kind of the decompress. I don't know. Some guys read, some guys go golfing all the time. I don't know. That's my
Gaming.
thing. So
yeah. Have you ever played with JT Brown? He's a big gamer
no,
too.
I'm not that good.
He's like
Yeah.
a pro. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm
he was
saying,
good.
like-
Yeah, there was rumors he was pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's just my time
So,
away from
yeah.
the rink in a sense, that and Ridge Rock. And nowadays I don't get to play at home. I play on the road a little bit now,
Okay.
but I got to change some diapers and be a father a little
understandable.
bit. So,
Understandable.
so that time at home has changed.
you
a
got the
little
baby
bit, so.
Bjorn on and just
Yeah, walking around.
All right, final fact or fiction.
you kind of smell something weird. It's like,
Yeah.
I think he's all right.
Is it me or him? I don't know. Yeah,
All right, here we go.
We can outlast another 15
yeah,
minutes.
he'll be good. Minor diaper rash.
All right, final fact or fiction. Calvin de Haan, prior to arriving to the Bolts, you have played alongside 4 of our current guys on other teams. Think about that one for a sec.
Just in the NHL.
No, I'm going to say for other teams. It doesn't matter what league.
Okay, I played with Pointer.
Yep.
Flares.
Yep.
Um,
One more. Kind of give it away. But
you did
there's one more.
one more.
Mm-hmm. Hags.
Oh yes, that's right.
So
Sorry, I
it's-
was going down the list. I was trying to
Okay.
think. Yeah,
It's actually 3. So
3.
Pointer,
Okay.
Hags.
fact
Fleur.
and fiction.
It's fact and well. I guess so. Yeah, it's fact and fiction.
Yeah, and
So-
Hags. Yeah,
And
yeah.
Hags. So those were the guys you've played with prior to arriving here in Tampa.
Poor Hags. Poor Hags.
Poor Hags.
Always,
Yeah.
always forgotten.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Sorry, Hags. I
Sorry, Hags.
apologize.
We appreciate you. But thank you, man. We take pride in what we do here on the Bolts Block Party, and we thank you for taking the time to give us a little insight on your backstory. And we wish you nothing but luck. And like I said, we're going to be paying attention to the game tomorrow.
Score sheets.
Blocks
Lots
party.
of
Oh,
pressure.
There's
Little
pressure
pressure.
now in
Little
the
pressure.
room. So
Yeah.
Calvin de Haan, another awesome guest here on the Bolts Block Party.
Yeah.
Thank you to our friends.
Maybe he's
at,
going to send us some
of the-
Rich
yeah.
Rock.
Send it down.
Some merch.
hats, yeah.
Send it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some merch. We'll rock it. I mean, Kobe and I.
Yeah,
are
well, you
back,
have
guys.
to. Yeah.
we will. So.
Well, now with his new haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, his hair's
You got to wait a few weeks.
Exactly. Exactly.
Anyways, thank you guys again for tuning in, and we'll be back soon with another episode of the Bolts Block Party. You guys have a good one.